Hey, it's George Coyle from Triangulated back with another episode of Secular Trends. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to do a lot of these videos in the past few weeks because I've just been very busy doing podcasts to talk about the upcoming Market Wizards book that I'm the co author of. So you can see some of those. I'll link to the ones that make it to YouTube to my page, and you should buy a copy of the book. But that said, I'll try to get back to doing these routinely once a week. So a while back, I did a report on the so-called silver tsunami, which is the trend of baby boomers retiring, and that trend has a lot of potential implications, and it probably explains why certain stocks are going up, including the senior living REIT stocks. But one thing that I talked about a little bit in that report that I think is just a big part of the trend is the fact that there are about 2 million or so small businesses owned by the baby boomers that are likely going to change hands in the next few years. And there's one company in particular, Kingsway Financial Services, their public company, and they focus on the space. And they had an earnings call recently, so I decided to dig in and see what they're saying about this trend of businesses being transferred from baby boomers to the next generation. And so that's the point of this week's call. So at a high level, there's a lot of opportunity. It seems like there's just going to be a lot of these guys they don't want to guys or gals that don't want to take their business and put it out to pasture, so they're going to be looking for people to take over the business, and they don't have necessarily a succession plan in place. They don't have children who either they don't have children or they don't have children who want the business. So it creates, I think, opportunity for entrepreneurial minded people that might want to get a business without starting from zero. One of the more interesting points in the earnings release was that this Kingsway Financial, they're sort of a holding company with multiple different business lines, but for the first time recently, the part of their business that focuses on transferring small businesses overtook the insurance arm of their business in terms of revenue, and so they view that as an inflection point and sort of a supporting point to show that this trend is really starting to get legs. So they had a bunch of interesting quotes or comments in their earnings release and the transcript related to the earnings release, and I'll read some of those now. So here we go. First, entrepreneurship through acquisition, or ETA, has a multi-decade track record of producing outsized returns by backing talented entrepreneurs to buy and grow small businesses, and that's the asset class that we're playing in. They then said, and this model fills a real gap in the market. Retiring small business owners with no succession plan, no sons or daughters in the company, want a financial exit that also protects their employees and their legacy. They then went on to say that these businesses are generally too small for traditional private equity. And then they talked about why the business model could outperform, the ETA, entrepreneurship through acquisition, could outperform. And here's what they said. Smart, energetic, properly incentivized operators take over a business that often hasn't been optimized for growth. Founder-led sales become a professional sales team. Pen and paper processes become modern systems and technology. Local becomes regional. Regional becomes national. Cash that was being distributed gets reinvested for growth. The business shifts from lifestyle to growth. So it sounds like there's a lot of opportunity, and that makes good sense, right? A lot of small businesses that I see, they're not run like big businesses. So if you got somebody with an MBA who came in and was still not entirely focused on counting the beans, but was still sales minded, they could probably make these companies a lot more efficient and a lot more growth minded. So then there was one other thing that they shared that I think is interesting, and it's here it is. They say, here's the runway in 3 numbers, nearly $4.8 trillion of net worth changing hands over the next 20 years. The largest intergenerational wealth transfer in U.S. history. More than 2 million small businesses expected to transition leadership in the next 10 years, and only 100 or so active searches at any given time. Lower middle market private equity is hesitant to buy businesses where the primary operator wants to step away. Supply outstrips demand, and that creates favorable buyer dynamics for many years to come. And then they say that they are well positioned to ride the silver tsunami wave. So there's a little bit more to it, and I go over it in the written report that I put out this week. That's now free, so I'll put a link below if you want to sign up and read it. Please do. Share it with other people if you like it. But at a high level, I think that this is just an interesting trend for people who are maybe looking for the next thing that they want to do or entrepreneurial minded, as I said before, but don't want to start from zero. I think there's going to be, according to Kingsway, a lot of small businesses up for grabs. They want people to come in that are going to carry the legacy. They don't just want to sell out to guys that are going to roll up four businesses, try to streamline operations and make things more efficient. They want somebody who's going to take what they've built and run with it, continue to grow it. They're also going to take care of the existing employees. So it won't just become sort of a chop it up, sell it off, make it efficient. It'll be a more, I guess, a warmer, a softer version of a takeover, essentially. But as I think about all that, there was one other quote that I read this past week, which came from the private equity firm Apollo, that came to mind. And here's the quote. Almost every job will be enhanced or replaced. We're going to see, in our opinion, a complete flip of blue-collar ascendancy and white-collar stress. So basically what Apollo is saying there is that AI is going to impact what's going to happen. And as a lot of other people are saying, blue-collar businesses may become the thing. And so if you're of the mind, if you believe that and you want to try to capitalize on it, one of the best ways might be to buy a smaller, too small for private equity, but existing well-run business or reasonably run business that has a lot of upside potential. And I think this trend of the transfer of small businesses could be that. So that's it for this week. I'll be back next week with another trend. And if you like this, please let other people know. And thanks for listening.